statesmen can't get people to subscribe to them. They can't give it away. It's gone from a thick paper to a tiny paper because they keep pushing establishment propaganda. But they put out a satire joke Onion. They published the Onion locally, which has national stuff and local stuff in it. And I had this idea 6 years ago before they even did it. It's just, common sense move. I'm sure others have the same idea. I'm sure somebody looking at a swimming pool thinks about swimming in it. It's not like it's, you're a rocket scientist that you want to swim in the swimming pool, or you see a big cheeseburger, you want to eat it. Hey, somebody else is eating a cheeseburger. You're plagiarizing me. No, cheeseburgers are good, man. They taste good. Doesn't mean they're necessarily good for your heart. But the point is, I forget my point. I'm kind of brainstorming here on the air about this in generalities, is that this is a big deal. And this is up to you. Its success will rise or fall with you. And I know it's going to be successful. The question is how successful. I would like this to be explosively successful. Explosively successful. Because the idea of citizens in mass buying these at bulk at cost, I don't care if you're free market and go out on the street corner and sell them for $2 a piece and make a profit. I mean, that's what this is all about. Sell them in your shop. Like, that's one thing we'll probably change, even though it is going to be free, is it says free on the cover, but people are buying them in bulk and are going to subscribe. We should have a note inside saying free on the street or something like that. But I want people to be able to sell these too, because it's not just about making money, it's about sustaining yourself. You sell them in your gas station, sell them at your church, sell them wherever, sell them for $2, $3, because it's definitely worth it. 48 pages. We plan to make it even bigger. All the graphics, all the articles, all of it. I'm going to show you some of this. In fact, I'm going to do a whole video on this today. I'm going to come back and cover news here, but showing you with a document cam, if you're watching at prisonplanet.tv, I mean, it is just full. It is absolutely just full of the economic collapse. Where does money come from? Rome burned, will we? A brief history of false flag attacks. The shadow Patsy rises again. Bank cartel conquers America. That's a very important article. Liberty lovers listed as terrorists by Homeland Security. Obama's jobs program, government. Haunted by Hitler. Gerald Celente story. The Second Amendment under attack. Big Pharma exposed. UN uses China as launchpad for global one-child policy. This exposes eugenics. Genetically modified apples are the newest GMO creation pushed on consumers. It's got a bunch of other stuff. It's got Ron Paul's latest article. It's got amazing gun sponsors, stuff like that. It's got the economic collapse, incredible graphics that our team put together. It's got, how money works for people that don't know. It goes into how they're creating a climate for collapse and civil war, history of false flags. It's got a big poster you can hang on the wall it's kind of a They Live knockoff. It's got Ben Bernanke. We like to see it. It's just all here. It goes on and on and on. This is going to absolutely shake people up. I mean, print media out there is a bunch of dribble, establishment, politically correct garbage. Get your copy at InfoWarsShop.com.
We're on the march.
But first, I want to just briefly address the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL. And there's an article that Paul Watson wrote last night dealing with this. ADL implies Alex Jones' inspiration behind Louisiana cop killings. Funny, we had an article about this yesterday morning saying they're trying to demonize sovereign citizen movements. That's American citizens tired of being pushed to the edge, tired of being treated like trash, tired of being treated 50 steps lower than illegal aliens, tired of being treated like a milk cow that the government sticks a straw in and sucks dry. The establishment wants to get a war going between the police and military and the American people. The plan is for civil war. And the Southern Poverty Law Center was forced to retract in 2009 when Richard Poplawski, a dishonorably discharged Marine and white supremacist, his mother threw him out of the house because he got a second pit bull. This is all on record. And she said, that's it, you're kicked out of the house, your dogs are using the bathroom everywhere. And Poplawski, because to understand what happened yesterday with the ADL, you have to understand the past of this. Poplawski threw a fit, and when the cops got there, he grabbed his semi-auto Mac 90 and shot 3 of them, killing them. And instead of blaming the Marines for him killing them, and I'm not blaming the Marines, but they would certainly be more to blame than I am, training him how to kill. I'm not saying that's even a bad thing, because if you train somebody who's good how to kill, they can protect themselves. The point is, he's drunk. This is all on record. He throws a fit. The cops come. He kills them. The most dangerous thing is a domestic dispute. Mama's boy with his tough guy pit bulls, urinating and defecating everywhere. Well, he showed mama, didn't he? Well, then he gives up. And within 2 hours of him in custody, the Southern Poverty Law Center beat writer there at the local paper came out and said he did it because he's a fan of Alex Jones. And whenever, even before stuff like this happens, when Nightline or MSNBC or CNN, Rolling Stone, the list goes on and on, whenever I get a call from a reporter or they're here physically, they go, aren't you worried you're going to cause violence? And I go, gee, I'm calling for nonviolence, and I always have, but I am exposing, that foreign banks are bragging they've conquered our country. They've been doing that for years, but now they're out in the open. Not just in their own publications, but, trade publications, but in our face saying it. And I told the Nightline guy, I said, let me show you clips of world leaders saying the crisis will be used to bring in one world government. No, I don't want to look at that. I just want to say you believe in this because you're delusional. So stuff like that happens. And so within 2 hours of this happening, the Southern Poverty Law Center and a bunch, literally more than 20 publications, ran with it as a national point saying Alex Jones is the reason this guy killed the cops. And that's done so they can demonize my free speech. And if cops are a gang, like any group of people, good gang, bad gang, it's a gang, they start thinking you're killing them, they're going to come after you. So it's an attempt to, the oldest trick in the book is to manipulate police. Whenever they raided Sherry Peel Jackson, the IRS criminal investigator, she'd done nothing wrong but her free speech. She sees lasers on her head in her house in broad daylight. And her kids see lasers on her face. And then they bust in and slam to the ground. It's all part of the theatrics. And the cops were like, well, we didn't find anything the feds told us would be here. I have been in a parking lot at a land rights meeting in 2006 at the Texas State Capitol, 1996, time flies. I have been there and walking back to my car, and I hear cops on their radio, state police, going, yeah, the Republic of Texas, so they probably got weapons. They may bomb us. Yeah, well, it's breaking up now. Their leader just quit speaking. And it was just me a minute before, and I'm like, hey, guys, number one, I'm not with the Republic of Texas. Number two, you're demonizing that group. And number three, you're being lied to by whoever just told you that over the radio. So it's like an art form of lying to them, the higher-ups sitting there. And I'm walking along, and I hear them on the radios like 20 feet away, and it was just ridiculous. You know what? I'll just address the ADL tonight, because I addressed it a little bit last night, but not in the focused way I want to. I mean, look, I don't want poison fluoride in the water. I don't want cancer viruses in the vaccines. It's all admitted. And you guys say I'm an evil conspiracy theorist because I know how to read major Harvard studies that are in the Associated Press. I mean, I'm freaked out. And I'm beyond tribalism, just wanting to get in a fight with these people. I'm beyond it, man. I am beyond all this race stuff, all of it. And the ADL has been caught. You can go to their Wikipedia page. It has links to all the mainstream news. Running fake white supremacist groups. I went and re-researched it last night, and I'd forgotten so much. I mean, it really is a nasty organization. And now, oh yeah, going back to the Poplawski story. So within hours, they're saying it's my fault because it was on his computer. We get his handle and go find out he writes for all these big white supremacist sites, that he was all over our website saying I was going to get it and stuff because I wasn't for violence and that I work for the Jews and all this. I mean, that's another thing, man. I'm so sick of getting it from all the crazy white supremacist groups and who are all handled and run by the feds and others. And then the other side of the full spectrum dominance, the Southern Poverty Law Center and ADL. I mean, I can't tell you how many cases where top white supremacists, top radio talk show hosts, white supremacists, it's all FBI, ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center. And it's not like they're infiltrating groups. They're running them. And I've got people that it's turned out were working for the feds saying, I'm evil, somebody ought to get me, to their crazy audience. So I get to have the ADL attacking me, the Southern Poverty Law Center, and then I get to have all these groups, all these white supremacist groups constantly threatening me. And it's just so mindless. Because, folks, I'm right. I've got my finger on the pulse. I know what's going on. And believe me, it's not fun knowing what's going on. It's like a nightmare. Instantly being able to unspin things, instantly understanding the deeper meaning of things. It's like torture, basically. I mean, I wonder if my discernment and research has gotten to this level where I can't even articulate to you my understanding of things. It's torture. Everything is frustration. I just am so tired of it. Because there's a billion points I want to make, and verbally you can't do it. Getting back to Poplawski. So, within 2 hours of these cops being shot, they're not even cold yet, they're saying he was a fan of Alex Jones, and I was his hero, and this is why I need to get in trouble or whatever. And the First Amendment's bad, and this is why we want to restrict the First Amendment and all this other garbage. So Paul Watson discovers this guy's all over the internet saying he's going to get me and all this stuff. So he starts sending it to the press, going, you got to retract this. I can sue you. And they all did retract, by the way, including the Southern Poverty Law Center. Because I'm not litigious. I mean, I'm not looking forward to having to sue people. I have before. Because once I sue you, I got to go perfect the case. I've got to make sure I win the case. And then if I get a judgment on somebody, I mean, I don't like get off on getting the judgment and then enforcing the judgment and taking somebody's car. It's harder to get their house. Going after these companies. But the point is, I got bigger fish to fry. I told him, I said, look, you're saying I'm helping get cops killed. I can't allow this to stand. Here he is. You know that you were given this information. And the thing is, the Southern Poverty Law Center and ADL basically run the police departments now. And they're just in there demonizing the daylights out of people and scaring cops that the guy with a libertarian website on their car or a Ron Paul sticker, they're going to kill you. To the point of cops pull Ron Paul people over all the time for Ron Paul stickers. It's happened to friends of mine. And they ask them, got guns or got any bombs? Because you've got a Ron Paul sticker. That's an attempt to intimidate us. And so if we let that intimidation work, it's over, folks. We go into tyranny. And so they're trying to do this right now, and we've got to reach out to the police and military. We've got to reach out in local communities. You've got to bring an intelligence file to your sheriff, to your police chief, and go, look, here's the ADL breaking into police departments. Here they are, they're people convicted of doing this. Here they are running white supremacist leaders. Here they are doing all this. You've got to counter them with the real intelligence. And the ADL's smart. So the Southern Poverty Law Center, they'll get the police chief and give him an award, give him a trophy, have famous people there. They do it in every major city, and they get the police chief up and give him awards. And I mean, it is just super creepy. And when you do that, you're a schmuck. When you do that, you're a chump, a sucker, a dupe, a useful idiot, a moron. When you go and have the ADL, one time the ADL put on a gun seminar to discuss gun violence. So I went to the synagogue where they were having it. It was open to the public. And when it got time for the question and answer, I said, listen, you need to stop demonizing the Second Amendment, this legislation. And they said, get out of here. Get out of here. And I started getting up and leaving, and they said, and don't try anything violent. There's no First Amendment with these people. Oh, yeah, folks. I used to go protest at abortion clinics. I've marched into synagogues and anti-gun meetings. I mean, I'm back in the day when I was just doing local TV and radio, I used to hit it hard. That's what I'd rather be doing. And I've gone to churches that are having anti-gun meetings. I went to a Baptist church once, a Catholic church once. I mean, it is just sick what's going on in these churches and synagogues and places. A bunch of brainwashing. And